So yeah, this was a lot shorter than season 1.
Mm-hmm.
No, like I guess it also goes with what I want to say, where like not a lot happened
What do you mean
in
not a lot
this
happened?
season.
There's so much.
I think it's
Like
that's an understatement of what was going on.
Like
this season.
I've got 3 pages of like scribbles. to talk about.
but okay, so like, but I meant in terms of like time.
Uh-huh.
Not a lot of time has passed.
Oh, you're absolutely
during
right. This
these-
arc literally takes like 2 or 3 days. Like it's like under a week. The whole like seven
Yeah.
or so like volumes.
That's why I feel like not a lot happened comparatively. Like at least in like season 1, it's like, oh, all this stuff happening. So hope it happened over a period of a couple years. Here, it's like, okay, this is just like 2 days.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang.
But I think it also makes it a bit more. You know, after the first season was kind of like set up, this is like, okay, now we're like advancing. Shit is happening, so we need to up the ante for the rest of the series. And this is a good season for that.
I just like how in this season there's like mystery after mystery after mystery, and we're only getting like small little hints of each one,
Yeah.
like one after another, and you're like, holy crap! I've got a lot of questions.
You guys have notes. I could, of course, like.
I don't.
I've got really sparse. I just kind of did them really quick because I was like, oh, I should take
I
notes.
believe someone said I have 3 pages.
Well,
scribbles,
okay,
and now you have spares.
Well, I was okay. I tried going back from the beginning and like taking quick notes.
Yeah.
So it starts off with I'm reading from the manga.
Yeah.
Chapter, was it 37 or 38?
38.
38. So they're starting off with, they've got Annie in the
Yep.
chrysalis, and then they're like just addressing the Titans in the wall.
Yeah.
And then how the religion within this I guess community or this little like area knows the secret,
Mhm.
and they're like, oh wait, don't let sunlight touch it. But how did they build the wall around these Titans if they can't have sunlight touch it?
Oh, you tell me. Well, okay. Here's my question then.
Go ahead.
How did they get the Titans to stand still?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, how many are in the wall? Are they all the same size, like Wiggins?
I thought they answered that question this season.
In the wall?
Yeah. If you go to chapter.
What was the question?
She wanted to know how the wall was made.
No, in the wall.
But-
Are they like how are they all like big Titans in the wall? Or are they like just a bunch of like
Well,
Titans, kind of like just?
Oh, they didn't answer
yeah.
that yet.
Well,
if
well,
at
you
all.
can tell from the height of the wall and whatnot, you've seen like what kind of Titans are inside. You can have like estimates, but of course we do not know exactly what size of Titans are inside. That is correct that you're pointing out. I want to point out. I think the opening is so great of like the Pastor Nick coming in and say like, you gotta cover this. It's like, you don't, if you let sunlight,
was
they're
great.
gonna wake. And it's like, wait, what the fuck is going? You need to start explaining. It's like and Nick, like he doesn't want to say anything, and it's like immediately we're facing with there's some dire consequences if you are like keep going on, but they're not explaining why, and it's like everything feels like super serious and super deadly compared to like last season where people died, but it was like more about like the adventure. There was like it felt like more of like heroes versus monsters. Now it's more about the survival and of like
There's conspiracy.
It's getting like real serious. We're realizing things about this world we haven't had, and we need to tread carefully. And that seems to be a lot of like what happens during this season and how it starts to show about the world, especially through the first chapters. Like not only with the giants in the wall, but then you have I don't know, is it the first or second chapter it's called that, but the first episode of the second season is called Beast Titan, and that's like, what does that mean? What the fuck is going on with Beast Titan? What is this deal?
That's very
ape.
cool. I
I thought it was crazy how Mike
Yeah,
died.
Mike.
He was
He's,
wait, how did he die?
Mike.
yeah.
I'm not good with names.
The guy with the that
Yeah.
can smell real good.
Oh, that's what I had a question about that. I'm like, wait, there was a guy that could smell Titan.
So yeah, he was
Because I forgot his name.
He was introduced in the first season. He was introduced when Hanji was bringing Eren to the court, and Mike was one of the bodyguards with him, and he smells Eren, and it's like he seems to be this like serious, like high level officer and whatnot. And he seems to be really badass. Unfortunately, he has to go against with a Beast Titan and get fucking.
Yeah, I was so sad. I was like, no.
It is the fucking most terrifying. It is so cool. Like you have this badass character trying to do their best, and in the end, it's like it doesn't matter. You can't do anything. It's like
I
you're
just
nothing.
like the thought of there are humans that have like really good senses. Like he could smell Titans. Sasha at that around that same time that they were like he was like I could smell Titans. Where Sasha's like I could hear Titans. Like
Well, it's not because she can hear him, because she was listening, like she was tracking. You saw she was
yeah,
from a
she's good
hunting
at
community.
yeah, she's from hunting. So I was like I like that. Like if we had more people that are like just more in tune with their senses, that can like oh wait, okay.
I wanna point out with that in mind. I think season 2 does really well of like having these small moments with the side characters that are like, oh, I really like when we get more into these characters. There's more of these moments that we get into their like. Not in, maybe it's a little bit under their past, maybe a bit how they act, and like even the really like sorry for my burping, but the really high level like not high level, but like you have these characters that are like only have a single name and they appear in like 2 issues, but they still have like their funny moments. Like in the castle, there's the guy who was like, oh man, I wish we had some booze with us, and then he's like, and then before he dies, he's like, oh, there's the final
trying to get
final bottle of booze. Yeah, but Connie and was it Krista or someone like had wasted the alcohol for the Reiner's wound, so it's like,
Yeah.
why is the world had to be so cruel? And that's
It's
just,
like didn't I suffer enough?
Yeah.
It was like so great. I was like, oh, so great. Just like the moments of like just some humor is really great.
yeah, really dark humor.
Yeah, like when Krista was like helping Rainer with his wound, and he's like, "Marry me," like it
It's
is like thinking it. I was like, I love that.
That part when Aaron's mom died, I laughed.
Wait, what?
no, come on.
When what?
No, you don't laugh at that. That's very sensitive to Eren, who's like whole motive behind avenging to the Titans.
Well, it's because you guys thought that part was funny, and I was like, what? No, that was like a crazy scene that like all those people died. And so I was doing my podcast reference.
I get it. I want to say related to that. That brings up one of my favorite like jokes overall. Is like, even though it's a small like recurring joke, but the whole thing of like Reiner wanting to marry Krista, or as we now know her real name, Historia.
Her S.
Is like
Historia.
I really like in the first season as well when she comes help with the horses, and Armin and John and Reiner are so all stuck, and he's like, I gotta marry her. It's one of my favorite like small running joke, because Reiner is the super serious, like desperate or like really depressing character
Soldier, like
who we really the soldier, and now that we know like what's going on in him, which I think we're gonna soon talk about, that makes me like, to him have some like small hints of comedy like that, that's like, oh, that's so good for that character. That's why he's one of my favorite characters.
I thought it was interesting how he got so wrapped up in his cover that he couldn't differentiate.
That's what I really liked. Like the almost like total turnaround of behavior, where he's like, "Oh, I'm not this."
So I think we should talk about that next. There's so many stuff about that I would like to talk. First of all, like I didn't see. I'm so glad. I heard some spoilers about this show before I started actually watching it. I didn't get spoiled by the biggest spoiler of all, like the whole like the scene at the at the wall after the castle's being breaking down and the survivors being all that, and then Reiner going to Eren and being like, hey, I am the armor titan, and Reiner here is.
I thought that was weird how the way they frame that in the book. They're in the background where there's people in the foreground having a conversation, and just you hear it's like, hey, I'm the armor titan, he's the Colossus. I'm like, why are they not focusing on this?
It's the nonchalantness that got me off guard when I first watched that episode. I hadn't read any of it. When I first watched it, I was like, they start talking, there's some dialogue, and then there's the over dialogue of Hanji talking with the other members of the Survey Corps, and I'm like, is there an issue with the subtitle? Did I read that correctly? What the fuck did I just read? And I had to go back a few seconds. I was like, did he actually say that? What the fuck? And then the scene goes on, and it's like, oh my god, and it's like, and it is one of the most. This moment or the episode where I saw it, that solidified me. This show, I was hooked before this. But this moment here is oh, I'm all in. I want to know where this story is going afterward. This is I need to know why they are doing this. I need to fully understand what is the reason behind these characters, why they're doing it like this. And I've gushed about it. All right, we've done it like everyone else who likes to gush about it. What are your opinions? And you said it's the position or how it's told. At that point, it seems why isn't it focusing on it? Well, I think that's because the author wanted to focus on, what? Sometimes the most awestruck moment happens just so off guard, so off way. You don't need to focus on that. It's just an everyday conversation, except that everyday conversation is about somebody all of a sudden going hey guys, I'm pregnant, and anyway, how was your day? And it's that kind of a nonchalantness and
it's like that scene in the interview where they're interviewing Eminem.
I haven't seen that.
I don't remember that.
There's a scene where he's being interviewed on television, and it's and so in your rap songs you're always talking about how you hate homosexuals and stuff. Where does that come from? It's it probably just deals with me being insecure in my career and also being gay and also and people the producers what did he just go back? What did he just say?
All right, that's
I just love it. It's the way that he says hey, it's the way that it was just about those three, which what I like. It's we are we're also being let into the secret that probably shouldn't have been released by Reiner at that point, but it happens.
Not only that, but it's the perfect reaction of all the characters involved. Berthold is bro, what the fuck are you?
What the hell? No, what are you doing?
and everybody else is trying to play the game because as we are soon few pages along told, all the other characters Eren and Armin and Mikasa already know that they are the Titans or working with the Titans. As we told in the flashback.
Yeah, that's what's really cool.
And that's what makes it even more more intense, more fucked up. And then Eren's reaction is what are you talking about? Just you're stressed. It's don't worry about it. It's and it's even if you were Titans, I wouldn't. Of course I wouldn't do. Are you fucking stupid? And it's oh, yeah. What I was thinking. Yeah. This. And then it's okay. Fuck this, fuck everything. This has gone too far, and then pops up the armored titan and colossal titan. Also, the moment where he's almost starting to he starts to regenerate, and then Mikasa, before a single breath is taken from Eren or anyone else, Mikasa is already stabbing Reiner and Berthold, cutting their fucking heads off, and it is the most whoa. It's it's so it happens so fast and emotions high. By the way, have you guys watched the TV version of this or the anime version of this scene?
No, not of the scene. I tried watching the last episode of season 2 really quick before.
All right, we're talk about that later. I have some discussion about
that.
But that that is still like I watched the episode rewatched it like 2 months ago. Like I had to immediately after season 1. I always like to watch the season 2. Also, I had a sweet deal for it. But I always go back like every few months. I go back to watch that scene in like Japanese audio, and the music, the sound effects, the voice acting of like the harshness. It's like every time like goosebumps of like when the music like you need to watch that scene. That is like one of my all-time favorite like scenes of this show. Like how well executed that scene is, or the final moments of that episode. 100% agree.
Before that, when they're in the castle,
Yeah.
and Ymir is looking for food.
And she could read.
Yeah, she could read this like tin, and now that I've like finished reading this whole segment up to like end of volume 12,
Right.
and you realize that she's been around for at least 60 years. I wonder if it's like an older language.
So, here's the weird thing. Yeah, we know. Yeah, could be, could not be. We don't know. However, I want to point out like Ymir's story is really interesting because I really liked how she's brought up more in season 2 than season 1. But when I read the manga, which was after the anime, I learned that she was introduced just as like this arc. Like all of a sudden, like they give her a name. Like she was a background character before, but she didn't, or she only appeared maybe like one panel, but she was never like mentioned by name. Now she has a name. She has like a story and a connection with these characters. And more than that, in the anime version, where it's like more littered, there is a full like half episode of backstory about Ymir that's not in the not in the manga version where it is. It's
strange.
It's later, like however, it's later on the series, so it's like it's not like anime only shit. But it's really weird that they like decided, oh yeah, let's focus on this character. Let's tell her backstory all of a sudden. It's like this like minimal backstory of like an interesting backstory of like how she came to be this character who she is. And
Actually,
yeah, no, that was
when they brought, right, you were saying how they brought her up in the manga. They're like, oh yeah, they said her name, but the way that they brought her in is as a side character again, where she's like, oh no, the person with the secret in the wall is the child of the bloodline importance. It's the girl. Like, oh wait, who? Would there been before? Like, oh, it's the one that always the little one that always hangs around your mirror. So they're not even talking like, she's just brought in as like, oh, she's not that important, but she is.
Yes, and
she's like the one that hangs out with the one that we should be looking for with the secret.
Yes,
but she also has a secret.
Yeah, I liked her moment as well. I kind of saw it coming from the episode, from like she's at the tower and asking for the knife. I'm like, oh shit, is she gonna do it? Like what the fuck is she's gonna do? And then it happens. It's like, whoa, what the hell? And yeah, great moment.
So she.
I think that whole tower saga was probably my favorite part in the whole season, because I like it when they can't really defend themselves.
Yeah, the desperation.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the series the most. I don't really care much about anything else except for like when they're just gonna lose.
Yeah, the desperation is real, and they don't have weapons. They are wounded, and it's really interesting to watch it on the second time when you know like these characters, 3 of which we are like told later that are like titans and are like, oh shit, like they could have at any point could have helped them, but like they didn't do it because they didn't want to get caught. And it's like, and it's really interesting and like to watch it like with that in mind later on. And also I want to speak about like the foreshadowing of the whole thing about like Reiner and Berthold. The whole thing about them, there's some like really great like screen captures online of like all the scenes where they're like when they are talking about stuff, and like as you watch it through again, read everything that they say to each other or or in the panel what they're doing. Like for example, when the tower is falling and the Ymir is like climbing up the tower, at the frame where they're like looking up like really scared at Ymir and the Historia is having her hands up, you can see on the side of the panel Berthold is ready to bite his own hand to activate his Titan power, and I didn't even notice it until like later on. Like, holy shit, he was that ready to just like pop it off, like to save it.
I have to reload it. That's so cool.
It's there's a lot of like small moments like that in the show, and I mean the most famous is like, well, that is brought up in the show is like why didn't Annie kill like Reiner, or like how did Reiner survive that attack? Well, maybe like why did all of a sudden Annie just turn her like side to where Eren was, like because it was after Reiner asked where probably Eren is, and it's like,
and then like wrote it on her hand, right, in the palm. I just like how Armin always his mind is so great. Like I love how it's always like,
but he's also like doing the fucking Sherlock Holmes thing, where he's like, with absolutely no evidence, this is what happened, and it's like, bro,
it's always him.
Fuck?
He's just like, wait, how can I like fuck up this? Or, like, how can I turn this situation around? Like, it's always him. It's like, I like how what do the Titans mostly like? Most of the Titans, they don't have like they're not intelligent, which is what we need. Like how Armin is fighting them, which is I love.
Exactly.
Like, he's not strong, but like how could he talk to them and try to figure it out? Like what he did for Reiner and Berthold, where he's like, "Oh, you guys can go, but you're really gonna leave Annie there?
Yeah,
they're fucking torturing him."
That's one of the most.
And then he got them to stop. I was like, "Oh, he always does this. I love it."
I love that. Like, there's the famous face of like he does this really scary face of like, they're torturing Annie right now as we're speaking, and they're like, fuck you for like making us
Children
think about
of demons.
Yeah.
Children of the devil.
Yeah,
I forgot.
yeah.
On the back of the book, there was a spot missing. I was like, wait, who did I miss? Who died? I'm like, oh, Annie's not on there. Well, I guess because she's not a good guy anymore. And then they took off Colossus and Armor Titan. I'm like, oh man. So that means they're also not part of the team. But now, why is Ymir still there? Because she's flip-flopping sides. I wish we'd get her shit together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not about, like, being good or bad for her at this point. It's just she wants to survive with Historia. And whether it's good or bad, whatever she does, it's the ultimate goal for her. Which I kind of like. It's really cute.
So, I think we're jumping in and off from the whole stuff. Should we talk about the end of because it's a short season, talk about the last 2 episodes now, or do you?
What happened? I don't. I thought it was. Oh, I was bummed out when Hans died.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I thought like, hell yeah, we got this drunk guy. He's gonna show us all this.
I'm like, he's gonna get it this time. Nope.
No, I think I liked it. I mean, not that I like that he died, but I like that he's like, you know what? Finally, I get to fight against this thing, and then he's like, nope, still can't.
Yeah. And not only is it like he cannot do it, like even though he basically covered his whole arc of like becoming this like drunk coward to like, hey, I saved these children, and still having like grudge that I didn't save their mother, but now having like redemption. But in the end, it's like it wasn't enough. Like he did everything he could and like to help Eren and like Mikasa to protect them, but in the end it cost his own life. And in the end it's even more important for Eren's like arc of like he tries to use his power but is unable to use it, and he just loses it completely. And by the way, also I seen like you watched the final episode, right, Rochelle? You watched it?
Yeah.
Did you watch the subbed version with the original voice acting and whatnot?
Yes, I did.
Eren's voice acting in that like
so good.
And
I was really surprised because I haven't seen the anime since the first episode, and the animation is so good. I was like, holy crap! I should have been watching.
Yeah, you should have. The season 2 is like much better. Like I forgot to mention this on the like in the first season. Like I forgot how different Mikasa's like design is compared to first and second season. Like they gave her these like weird lipstick like lips, and it's like, that wasn't in the fucking manga. What are you doing to this character? And it's like on the second season, like, oh yeah, we're gonna get rid of that like over glamour bullshit. Well, the characters are still pretty and handsome and whatnot, but they're like, all right, let's tone it down a bit. But when there's a serious situation, we're gonna focus on their face, give as much detail as possible on their face of the horrifying and the scaredness and whatnot. We can really express these characters. And when Eren loses his mind, it is like the most like, oh god, like, oh Eren, like I would like he's like a guy like you want to hug him, like, hey, it's all right, it's like it's not good, it's really bad, but like you need to keep it together, like you're gonna lose your, it's like he's almost losing his sanity. When I watched season 2, I was like, that's it, that's it for the character. He's gonna like have a mental breakdown and he's not gonna become the same character anymore in this series. But at the end of the episode, it's like, nah, I'll keep fighting, and then he does his like power punch, and the Titan, which I thought was the stupidest thing ever.
The Falcon Punch.
Yeah, the Falcon Punch, and it's like like slap and silence, and then effect, and it's like, what the fuck? And then it's like all of a sudden the music drops. My favorite music is the mysterious tingling. So I love that. I don't remember which track it's called, but that's one of my favorite tracks from the second season and all of the like Attack on Titan. And then like the whole situation changes completely, and the final episode is really good, like setup. It's like, yeah, the characters know like Eren is important, and like Reiner says why it had to be him, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? Why is he so important? What the fuck?
So, they were saying like, why is he the coordinate? And I'm like, oh, does that mean you can control Titans?
Yeah, so I think he has that. I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So they kind of I remember in the manga they were saying like, hey, Eren, maybe you could like make a little cool chrysalis and like steal up the whole.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, maybe. But so they just keep assuming that he could get all these powers.
Yeah.
Well, if one Titan can do it, why can't any of the others?
But then what about like I was thinking like the coordinate, like, oh, how come he's the one that has it? So does that mean certain powers are like can be learned and some can't?
We don't know.
In terms of like the Titans. And
there's so many questions.
By the way, I need to talk about two of the side characters that aren't really talked about in this season. Number one, we talk about the guy who's really not shown in the series at all, and for a good reason, is Levi, which I cannot imagine how much that people who watched the series for 4 seasons and thought like, oh, Levi's my favorite character. He appears in like 2 or 3 episodes and like has like 4 lines, and that's it for this series, because he has this injury from the season 1, and it's like, yeah, if you were expecting Levi action this season, it's like, forget about it. You're not gonna get it.
I forgot about him.
Yeah.
No.
I guess he wasn't important.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're right. He didn't do anything really in this season.
Plus, even if like he did show up, then we wouldn't have as much tension as we did.
Also, want to point out the second character important is of course our commander Erwin, and he loses his arm.
He lost his whole arm.
And he still keeps going.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's that.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh shit, he's still alive at the end.
He's just mad.
He's literally a mad lad, and like how much we learn about, he's willing to like sacrifice so many of like his people, just like, yeah, I mean, we're one step closer to the truth. Like the final episode, like the final like scene is like after like talking with Hanji, who realizes, oh yeah, probably these people at this village, which happen to be full of Titans, but no like signs of like humans. Probably like it is most likely that
they were all probably
they're probably like turned into Titans, and it's probably like.
They never said that in the book.
They did.
Yeah, they say it like it like that's their theory.
It's chapter 51, I think.
Yeah.
So this is what I wanted to get to.
That's 51. I'm not there yet.
That's what I wanted to get
it's
to.
Part of season 2.
It was part of. It was weird. I think it was in 50, but I'm pretty. Or part of it was in 51.
Right.
The episode is weird, but what I wanted to get to is now we get into the ethics and the political social aspect of what's going on within the walls
Yeah.
and what's going
Oh,
on
because
outside
of
the walls.
of the Wallace Society.
Yeah, because now there's becoming they're just bringing this up now. The ethics of Titan killing. They briefly go over it in the episode,
Yeah.
but now they're like, oh wait, Levi is like, have I been killing humans this whole time? And they're Titans?
Wait, is this in the final episode?
This is in the final episode.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I guess weird.
Yeah, it is.
For some reason, it gets cut off in some parts in 51.
Yeah, it's the pacing in the last season 2 and season 3. The first part is really weird.
They're merged.
Yeah, really weird, and we need to talk about that we're talking about the first part of season 3, because there is some really weird pacing stuff done, which I like, but for manga's sake, it's like when I read in the manga, it's like, all right, this. I know why some people stopped reading the manga at this point, because they were like, I don't care about this story anymore, and it's like. And then so many people complain about season the upcoming arc. It's like, okay, I can kind of see what they're talking about, but when I watched it in anime format, I had no issues with this, and that's why season 2 ends with really good quote of as you said, Levi thinking about
so many mysteries.
Yeah, and as Erwin says, we're taking even all this sacrifice, we're taking one small step forward to finding out the truth, and he's smiling. Yeah, towards the truth, and Levi's you're fucked up, dude. You're smiling about after all these people died, and you're smiling. And even Erwin acknowledges this into a certain level of being fucked up, and yeah.
That's what I like about Erwin, because even though he's so almost Machiavellian, I can't even say it correctly. I'm saying like Machiavelli, where he's whatever, he will do anything towards that truth.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what he's gonna sacrifice, but he's I like how it brings up more questions. Okay, they were revealing okay, this whole village changed at the same time. So how we figured out, because I was thinking it has to be around the same time, because they said there's no blood or fighting. So you can't have. I'm
wondering if he did something to the water supply at the ape.
That's what I was thinking. How could he turn all these people against their will?
Actually, there's 2 points. I already forgot one of them though. When we're seeing the Titans attack the castle, one of the small Titans starts attacking another one, and I thought that was strange.
We've thought about. I have a theory about that. I always as well thought that's kind of weird. But we were told about the abnormal Titans that are Titans that act really abruptly. They are either running or moving really weirdly or
lounging around.
Yeah. So that I bring up. Okay, it's an abnormal Titan who just is not doing what the normally Titans would do. So. That's it. I'm not.
But I like the thought that okay, if it's an abnormal Titan, and we have this theory about okay, these are people that have turned into Titans. Does that mean that they have not completely turned? They have some semblance of what they were.
I mean,
as humans. That'd be pretty interesting.
I mean, the Titan at Connie's village.
Connie's mom.
Yeah, Connie's mom says "Welcome home," and it's the most what the fuck is going on with this Titan? It's when I first watched it, it's wait, is that what are the implications
again,
of
try
this?
to fuck with me.
Yeah.
They try to fuck with you in a different way.
Yeah.
Instead of eating you, they're I'm just gonna psychologically destroy you.
Yeah.
Also, the ape, he saw the 3D maneuvering gear, and he's oh, this is new. And I was yo, how long has this guy been away for?
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder how long they had 3D maneuvering gear for, because I know the spin-off series takes place I think 400 years prior, and I don't think they had it then, if I remember right. So I don't know.
So what I'm kind of getting from you is these Titan was probably human. That's how he could talk. Hey, that's a thing that I didn't know about before.
Well, yeah, I think the Ape Titan is the same thing as the Colossus and Armored.
So he was he could change back and
forth? I think he's like that, but he's more in control, because why else can you talk as a Titan? It's kind of fucked.
I know he could kind of talk to the Titans, kind of control them. Do you think that's kind of important in it? But it's not as good as what Aaron's doing. He's like, remember he was like, "Hey, I told you to wait." He wasn't really listening. Like the little fight.
Maybe because like he didn't use his like full
Oh.
control ability. Maybe he just thought he used enough, but is like, oh, I guess I didn't like press on the gas enough.
So can I talk you some of the small? I can give you some small like not spoilers. These are not spoilers. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but you want to hear some like memes about like the fan
Yes.
base.
I'll hear
Okay,
memes.
I need to send you some memes after this podcast about like really want to share you a long time, but.
You said you had a folder for them. Just for
I have
this.
folder.
Oh yeah, I remember you were like, "I have 4 folders for you for when you catch up."
Yep.
And I was like, "That's awesome. I wish I had a folder of memes to send my friends."
Like I know the secret behind the Ape Titan because I've read up
The
to
Ape-
then to volume 20
Yeah.
way back when. That's
Oh.
but I'm trying to keep this
Right.
conversation limited to only the end of chapter 50 because
Right.
that's all I had on my
So
chart.
one of my favorite things.
I've read ahead, but I've already forgotten.
One of my favorite things is like the fan base for the longest time called the Beast out of Monkey Trouble. Every time he was like that
Monkey
was
Trouble.
yeah, that was his fan base name. Just
I'm
like,
scared of monkeys.
whenever he appeared. So Russia, you watched the final episode. So I mean, you saw the final scene,
Yeah.
right? Like the stinger of like season 2, and like
Yeah.
immediately as you see, like I don't know if you Alex, if it was on the manga page, I am not sure, but you see something pop out of this like the Beast Titan's like back, and you hear a man's voice going like. What does it say? I forgot. Is it? It's not time yet, or is it like?
I think I actually have it up to that point, and because I was watching,
Yeah.
I was just watching.
That never happened in
Yeah, okay.
Not yet. He's like, not yet. He's like, not yet. Eh?
Yeah, not yet. Yeah. And
He's got his glasses and it's all shiny.
Yeah, it's someone, and then we clearly know. Okay, there's someone behind this all. Who is he? We don't know. But what I do know that his voice, like immediately as I heard his voice, oh shit, it's that guy. I can't. And now I'm sorry that I haven't written it down, but it's that guy. The guy who voices Dio, and he's always the fucking guy. It's that guy. Immediately recognize his voice,
awesome.
and I'm like, fuck yeah.
Oh, it was Dio all along. I was
was
expecting
Dio.
a Titan.
He has finally taken over a new world.
Do not look up that voice character. Do not look up that voice actor and what character he plays in Attack on Titan. Absolutely do not look at that character's name, because that character's name is super fucking secret.
Beast Titan.
Well, I keep telling Rochelle, she's like, I'm gonna look it up. I'm like, no, wait till whatever you. No
I
matter
can't
the
look up
property, it's
anything.
like I will not even go on Google until I'm done whatever the series is.
Yeah, this series is really bad for it, especially when we're
Spoilers. Oh, man.
we are really like in the like
You know what? Even in the opening of the episode, I didn't get to watch the ending
yeah.
of it. I just stopped because it was like right when you guys started the podcast. Is like when I just finished. He's like, not yet, eh? And then, but even in the opening was really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, for that,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I like the music. It shows the key again. It shows Beast Titan with a bunch of other animals, which I thought was
Dinosaurs.
I was questioning. I was like,
What?
why are they showing animals with their hearts and stuff? And like, it's like even the Beast Titan's heart you're seeing. I'm like, in the Beast Titan, is he called the Beast Titan not because he's just hairy? Can he control animals?
So, I can give you the honest answer, but do you want to?
Well, that'd be a spoiler.
But is it a spoiler?
I can talk about later, but it's just don't worry about it. I would say don't worry about
Okay.
it.
I just thought it was weird, like for that the opening. I was like, this is weird. This is
I
really weird.
also-
Usually I skip openings, but I'm like, you know what? I like the music, so I'm gonna keep watching.
Oh yeah, well, can we talk about that? Oh yeah, we'll talk about this plot stuff. Oh yeah, the season 2 intro is one of the like all the people say, oh yeah, this is the best intro. Like they cannot remember.
Yeah, I was like, this is great.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, the first, the first one, intro ever is like the most recognizable,
Classic.
everybody
Yeah.
classic. But the second intro, everybody who's like watched the show, oh yeah, Sasageyo, Shinshanru Sageyo. It's like every
I
time.
really like
It's
it. I was like, oh, I like this.
it is the fucking one of the most like hype intro for the like after the first season I was like, okay, how can they adopt this? Oh yeah, we're like maybe it's not as memeable as the first season, but it's like it's still like hype as hell. And yeah, that's my opinion on that.
I really like not watching the anime.
Yeah, do watch it.
But then I'm just gonna watch really quick the ending which has like some more sort of medieval like art, which is weird.
Yeah, it is really weird, isn't
Which
it?
shows like how old, I'm just going really quickly through it. Okay, I like
It is really like fucked up with the
like how
the
old
course.
is this problem, this
Yeah.
Titan problem?
Exactly.
It's like what it brings up.
I recommend Alex as well to look up the ending. Do not look at the comments. There's do not look up YouTube comments. They're full of like bullshit and like that. You don't need to see that. They're really nasty
Yeah,
comments.
it's fine. I'll just watch on mobile because they hide the comments now.
Hell yeah.
They keep one comment on mobile.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
one-
that's true. One comment, and I'm too lazy to press it to read the rest.
So, let me try to get back on the track a bit.
oh yeah.
What how did you like compared to like the first season? How did you compare like this season in your opinion? Like you said, like it felt like nothing really happened, but like what's
That's
your
how Alex felt.
Yeah. What?
Well, in terms of amount of things that they've accomplished in season 1 as opposed to season 2, they accomplished a lot more in season 1.
Yeah.
That was just my comparison. I don't think it would hold it really against it because this is like, I guess, the Revelation season.
That's what I like the season 4. Maybe that's weird.
No.
So I think
This season, in my opinion, like first season is like entrecote, like you get the tastings of like what's yet to come, and it's like getting you ready. Like the final like few episodes are like they're just like, oh, you're gonna like this, or you better wait for the second season or get the manga ready. And second two is like this is the main course. Like now we're really getting into it.
Yeah. I like how this is more of like I just like the mysteries, the secrets, like the conspiracies. I'm like, oh, I'm all in. I want to know all the secrets.
when it was revealed Ymir was a Titan, I'm like, yeah, who the fuck isn't a Titan?
That's true.
And then at the end of that book, they have the gag preview.
Yeah.
And then like
The Titans.
everyone's like, we're coming for you, Aaron. And then everyone's a Titan. I'm like, this is retarded.
I like that.
Yeah,
okay, I guess cute. The gang's here.
Yeah.
The Titan gang or something.
Yeah, everybody's Titan in Attack on Titan, and Eren is the real one, and we're all maybe the Titan maybe the Titans we made up through our adventure was the friendship all along, or something like that.
Yeah, maybe they are all. I liked that it brought up more about what's outside the walls, like. Okay, Berthold and Rainer, they're saying they're trying to go home. There's a home somewhere for them, and they're both Titans. So is there like a Titan village somewhere, or is that where the Beast Titan's from? Something like that.
Yeah.
That sounds like okay, sweet. That's kind of cool. I want to see that.
I'm speculating. I don't know the details on that, but I know you two do.
Yeah.
But I'll know it when I get to it. But my speculation is they were forced to be these Titans.
Yeah, I
and
feel like
the only way they can return back is like, hey, if you do these things, you can come back home.
Like they did they do something at home, or were they just like they had a goal for like?
Well, I wouldn't say it was. I wouldn't say they were being punished for something. I was saying that this role was forced upon them.
That's
Well, I mean, Ymir,
by-
they said that she stole the Titan secret, something like that.
She stole their power from someone,
stole
and I'm like, yo,
power.
it's some
So-
Highlander shit. What's going on?
it is shown in the anime version, which is why it's kind of weird. And you will figure it out when you read the manga, like as you go along. It's shown to you, but it's really hard to talk about like when you haven't read it, but I've seen it and it's in the anime, but not in the manga. It's kind of like weird. But I say you have I'm not gonna say whether you're right or wrong, but I like that theory. Or whatever.
It seems like the most logical idea, given what I know about narrative pacing and whatnot, and how stories are written. It seems like the most simple solution.
Right.
I like the thought of Ymir, like I said that she was brought in as like, oh yeah, she's always hanging out with the one who we should be looking for. She's the key to the secret of the walls. But then at the end she's like, yeah, I'm not bad being a goddess. And I'm like, wait, is she more important than Krista? Holy shit.
Well, I think she sees herself as that because she is a Titan, and I when it comes to
Like, is goddess like her term of like just being powerful, or is that like her
well,
Titan?
because she's something that people fear, and people tend to fear their god, hence god fearing.
Or I thought that just like what her Titan was called. I was like, what is her Titan called? The goddess. But because I remember
No, because her Titan's not that great.
I remember
so
they
it'd be
said-
called Sonic, if anything.
there was a side story that we mentioned in the last episode, last podcast
Yeah.
episode about Ymir, like they mentioned
Yeah.
of Ymir and how that was like
yeah,
the
I
goddess
just looked
Titan.
that up because
Do be careful with that stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, that was in the
What-
manga.
what-
Yeah.
yeah, that was back in season
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
shit. So I went back and I was like, well, okay, and now that I know that Ymir's been a Titan for like 80 or 60 years, I guess, I couldn't remember what that Titan looked like, the one we saw in that short story. And I was like, what if that was her? That would be fucking crazy. And I looked, I'm like, no, it's just some dude.
Yeah.
But then I saw like the person that the Titan ate. I didn't recognize the name at all, so it might come back up again later. But I was like, I don't know. She has freckles like Ymir, so I guess maybe I don't know.
Did her Titan have freckles?
No.
Oh, I was like, I
Um,
was like,
Ymir and the Survey Corps member that Titan ate.
Oh.
They both have freckles, if I remember right.
Could it be real?
And I'm like, maybe all Ymir's got freckles. I don't know.
another question. It was close to the end. They were when Bertold and Rainer and Eren and Ymir, they were all running away. Bertold's like freaking out. He's like, "Please, someone find us!" And I was kind of confused with that. Like, did he want this Titan to find him, or other Titans from his home?
How I interpret it in the scene is more about like these.
That desperation again.
Yeah.
Did he just didn't want to be in the situation? Or-
Like how I like perceived it on the season 2 without like having any of the other knowledge that we know and or whatnot from the from the future is like the Bert. I think it's more about like he fears like the situation. He's in a fucked up situation. He's a colossal titan. The reason why Eren's mother died and all these other like hundreds of people died, and like he knows his sins, and he's being chased for it. And he's like a sinner who wants to save them from this like the sins that they've done, and and I interpret it as like somebody find us from this like darkness that they're being like surrounded with, that they're of their own causes and whatnot. I think that it's like the desperation of the like characters and the situation, and it kind of makes them sympathize, but then at the same time it's like, well, you're still a piece of shit. Like you're not like by the actions that you caused in the longer run.
Well, I think it also comes back to when they're kids, and if my theory holds, they were forced into a situation. So I would say that they are mostly blameless. Because they were put in a situation
then,
they didn't want to be in.
Are they
but
really
this is where we're
kids?
at.
Because like Ymir, you said that she's like 100 old she
Well,
is.
she-
but then
well,
maybe
yeah,
Rainer and Bertold
she-
are old too.
Maybe, but remember, Ymir was in a Titan form for 60 years. She had like next to no agency. So she would also be, I guess, blameless in a sense because she's in beast mode.
Yeah, I don't. I didn't.
Oh,
think-
we forgot. Well, so how did you feel? Well, I'm sorry, I kind of went a different direction. But how about you? How do you feel about this season?
This season, when I first saw it, I was like, I had to see it everything. Like season 2, like it was so short. I was like, you can't end like that. I don't need to see season 3 right now. I wanna fucking know what happens
Yeah.
next. Like it was so good, making me like the pacing was so much better than the first season. Of like, there was like dread of like what is characters, then it's like a mystery. It's like next episode, okay, more stuff, action, and then it's mystery. Okay, what's next? A new mystery, and some other mysteries are being followed up. Okay, that's cool. Then the revelation about Armored and a Colossal Titan. Oh my god, what the fuck? And they changed the dynamics completely. Then we're focusing on that. like 2 episodes, then it's like, okay, we took a breather. We're gonna go against them, but have a breather. It's the anxiety needs to like calm down a bit. Then it starts slowly getting revved back up to the last 2 episodes, and it's like, oh, and then it's like, okay, resolve it. The situation is still bad, but we got some resolution on some of the stuff, and it's like, but I'm still like, the adrenaline from the final episode, the dread, and like the shit that has happened so far. It's like so much, and it's like I need to know what happens next then, because I had so high hopes for the season 3, and I really liked it. I don't know if this is my favorite arc in the manga wise, but like how I've read it so far. But it's up there. I think this like the arc is called it's like official name is Clash of the Titans, and I think it is a Clash of Titans. I say it's like probably my top 5. I mean there aren't that many arcs in this like series, but like it is like one of my favorites. I would say like the characters are great. The action, like it's like the dread, the mysteries, everything like we've been discussed so far is all great. I love it. Good season. Enjoyed it. Highly. One of the like reasons to like, if somebody would watch season 1 and thought what's going on with this series, I would still recommend just watch the season 2. If you don't like season 2, just like don't bother it anymore. But watch season 2.
Great season, didn't see it.
Yeah.
Another note, in chapter 50, I saw an Asian Titan. Did you?
I was gonna bring that up.
Did anyone else notice an Asian Titan?
I was like, this is like the one Asian Titan in the whole fucking
I was like, oh,
series.
usually Titans are like.
Can you link me a
people.
picture? I'm like, if there's an Asian.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it. I think I took a screenshot. I was like, Asian Titan.
Oh, you took the
I
screenshot? Okay, send it to
I'm
him.
pretty sure I took a screenshot. Oh shit, I did it.
If it's an Asian-looking Titan, I
remember it's in chapter 50 though.
I don't have the PDF open, so I cannot look it up. But
I'll send it to you as soon as I find it.
Because I discussed it beforehand. Like there are scenes where there's like some really like Asian-looking characters, and I think it might be someone from the production team, or someone like famous.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this was like his assistant or editor or somebody.
Oh no, I was also thinking that because if the Titans are created by humans, there aren't a lot of Asians in the area.
But also keep in mind, like a lot of these Titans are supposed to look like celebrities. So some of them probably do look like Japanese celebrities, but this one looks like a straight up fucking Asian. Like they're not pussyfooting around with that one.
All right. Yeah, that looks like it's some artist or like one of the maybe one of the like the voice actors. I bet from the.
Oh.
No, wait. Maybe this is season 2, so it's probably not the voice actors, because I know the voice actors are in the series, but this is not the point. But
well, I was gonna say it might be even his editor or an assistant.
Could be. I can look it up online. This is chapter 50. Yeah, you can go ahead.
I'm just looking at my notes. Like, can I say, I'm really sad that no one celebrated this epic moment. No one even mentioned it yet. Erin's first official kill.
Oh yeah.
Ymir's got her first, or not Ymir.
Historia.
Krista got her first kill.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, all this time, I didn't realize that Eren didn't kill the Titan yet.
Fucking useless.
Oh.
It only took him 12 books.
Oh. I was really happy. And then they're like, oh, shut the fuck up, Eren. Just glossed over. That's what I just liked about it. I was like, oh, yes. Nice.
I cannot find a reference to it, but I think it might be related to that.
It was when they were in the tower, and then like they all burst in, and he's like, "Yeah, first official
kill."
No,
I'm talking about Titan. No. But yeah, the Eren's thing. Yeah, that is of course. And it's like motherfucker, you can turn into a Titan, and you can kill. You have more kills through that, and it's like, I might use my actual skills. Hey. Yeah. Also, for the longest time, the episode. What is the anime episode name? Hold on. Yeah, Warrior was for the longest time it was like #1 episode on IMDb, and yeah, it's still one of my favorite episodes. I go every once in a while. Even the dubbed version of that episode is really great. I recommend watching the English. Like the English dub is so and so on some parts, but some like the great moments they have. The voice acting is really good, and I'll talk about in the future more about like the highlights of like how some of the moments of acting are like so superb. But
like, the behaviors of those characters.
Yeah. Speaking of, we were talking about a lot of season 2. I don't have any other notes. Do you want to still discuss, or does anyone?
I have one.
I got.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, my I guess my question is more appropriate to be last.
Okay.
Go ahead.
At the end of the that little season arc, I was mentioning on how they were talking about like ethics of Titan killing and more like political, social aspects of it, where they're like, okay, if this wall is really down, then we're gonna have such shit on our hands within the walls because either they're gonna starve and die or steal them. So they're not even safe within the walls if this the wall,
Yeah.
even if the wall goes down. So I like how the thought of like, okay, now it's not just human versus Titan, it's gonna be human versus human for survival. So there's gonna be just that thought. Like I also had like a weird theory where like, okay, if people could turn into Titans, someone's turning these people into Titans, and why are they turning these people into Titans? Could it be because of that? Could it be because of that? There's not enough resources to live, and then we're like, hey, you know what? Maybe everyone would be happier as a Titan.
Yeah, because they don't have to eat.
Yeah, they don't have to eat. They can just use, I don't know, live off the sunlight. I don't know.
Yeah.
How else they survive.
Being
I was
Titan
like,
is
could that
great.
be like someone crazy is like, okay, I think I can make everyone be happy if they're all Titans. So that was like a weird theory I got.
Yeah.
That's my last little point. I don't know if you guys, what do you think of that?
It's.
No. I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say. I think it's a good point to like good points of like to think about like why would somebody do this? What was like what's like the meaning of it? And I like the social political like context, which will you will soon find out it's more apparent than you would think, or like how we're gonna discuss about that. But that's for the next time. I think we're gonna.
So I think like season 3 is gonna be interesting.
If I remember right, yeah, it should. Because I've read it ahead like years ago. I forgot my question.
Oh shit!
Oh, because I remember I mentioned that the series was supposed to end on volume 20 originally, and all the characters were supposed to die. But then Joel, you said like, well, the author, like, it got popular, so the author didn't do that.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, there were some instances where like, oh, they just saved you in the nick of time. It's like, I wonder if you didn't get it saved here, that would have been the appropriate pacing to end this series in volume 20, because a lot of your heroes would be dead.
Right.
But I guess my big question is, you said that he's planning on finishing it this year. Do you think 6 chapters is enough to wrap up the rest of the series from where it is? Because I don't know what's happening now, but you are. So I want to know: do you feel that's more than enough, or that it's like they're going to be kind of like pushing it?
It is really pushing it. I like there's some of the questions I'm like wondering like how are they going to be seen, but at the same time it's like I'm just a reader. I'm not a. I can like we have only like slight clues of like what's going on. The rest of it's like theory, like people talking about like what's happening next, and what if this, what if that, what if this totally stupid thing that has nothing relevant to the like how narrative is supposed to happen like happens. It's like it's all up in the air, and it's more about just I want to see how the author goes through how I want to see how Isayama-san is gonna go through, and it's gonna show us like, hey, here's how it ends, and he drops the final chapter, and it's like, and and then we can decide if Attack on Titan is the one of the greatest or one of the most like ambitious, yet it fallen flat in its end. We'll see if Attack on Titan is gonna be the next Game of Thrones. We'll see if it's gonna be.
We're on season 5 right now. Rochelle doesn't know how many seasons there are. Don't tell her.
Okay.
I do know how many seasons there are.
You said you didn't know, and your
did.
brother told you 9,
RJ
and I know the truth.
Then if RJ's, that means RJ's wrong. So there's not 9. So there's probably like 8.
Or is there 10?
I don't know. I feel like RJ went. I feel like there's 8, 7.
Or maybe he was right and he wasn't sure.
I could just look it up.
You can't.
It's blocked. You can.
It's illegal.
So what if the final secrets are like revealed, in the same way that Rainer revealed his armor?
So okay.
It did like the background.
I'm gonna say it for now. For now, I mean, to keep it a bit clear, it's not gonna have a lost ending. I feel confident
I never saw Lost
saying
either.
it's not gonna do the Lost of like not having like all the answers revealed. It's gonna have some ambiguity, and that's fine. I'm fine with ambiguity having in a story of like not telling every single like this is why this happened and like explaining it on like huge detail. I don't need that. I just need to know like this is why this happened, and if it makes like dramatical sense for these characters, and it's like so far the plot has been really fine with that. I'm like, this is fine for me. This is like absolutely fine. But there have been some people complaining, oh, the pacing in the like some of the chapters, it's like, oh, he's really rushing it. But like, I don't really feel that. Maybe it's because of the monthly release, and maybe it's because of that people like feel it being like so. But I have a confident feeling of this story having a good conclusion from what we've been seen and told from the author.
Do you think they can fix that pacing in the anime?
So here's the idea, yeah, they've been talking about they try, like, I don't know how the studio is gonna do it, but they're trying to like finish both at the same time. I don't know if it's gonna be the same date or same week, but they're around the same time. So I think they're really pushing it. Like they're like, I was thinking like, hey, if there's some pacing issues, like they might be able to fix in the anime. That's what they kind of did with season 3 of like how making that story like a bit better, in my opinion. And it's like,
sweet. Okay, you know what? Maybe I will watch season 3.
I recommend reading it, but I at the same time just
I read.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know how far I got. I haven't sure.
Yeah, but I recommend watching it because
watching that last episode of season 2 made me want to watch it.
It's like when I heard later on, like people like, I didn't like the arc after the Clash of Titans. I think it was the shittiest arc. Then I was like, oh man, is the quality gonna drop so fast? I watched the anime and I was like, what the hell are they talking about? That was the fucking great season, and like, what are they cycles? Then I read the manga. I was like, oh, I see how it is. I now understand, because the story like went so much for a crawl, and all of a sudden it's like this is what they had to deal with monthly. While watching them anime is like weekly. It's like, okay, that's a complete different experience.
Well, and I guess for me, I just do it all at once because I'm like, it's done. Okay, I'll buy it. Okay. So I guess I'm in the prime position for any franchise ever. Yeah. I just wait till it's over, then I buy it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Get the complete experience. No bells and whistles. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mess with. Well, I guess in my case, I'm breaking it up into like every like 2 months or so. But it's whatever. It still works for me because 2 months isn't that big of a gap.
I think since we were talking about season 3 and other stuff, is there anything talked about season 2, or are we gonna just wrap it up over here?
So I already know how the franchise is going to end. They told me at the end of one of the books, it said, "What if it was all a dream?" And then he was late for school.
Oh yeah, well.
And he has to run to school with a piece of toast.
I don't know why you said on your podcast just to like blandly just spoil everything.
Hey, I was just doing a reference to the Titan reveals.
No, I guess so. It was all a dream. It's just like Inception.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any good ender for this. I really tried to think about stuff.
Well, I know that. I guess it's a bit of a preview for in a couple months. Because we're gonna do the main series, and then we're gonna go on to the spin-off stories, right? Because I know Lost Girls I think has a couple episodes.
Oh yeah, they're not really spin-offs. They're like side stories of the main story, like Lost Girls and the Levi's.
No regrets.
Yeah, no regrets. The Levi's story. It's like those.
But I know we're gonna do those.
Yeah, those
right?
are fine. We can talk
What
about
about Junior High?
What?
Huh? Junior High. Everyone about to talk about Junior High. Oh no.
Yo, I'm gonna read. I'm already buying it, so I can't stop.
I think I saw a clip. I thought it was really cute.
You can read it. I have no idea. I don't know if I want to talk about it. I mean, there's some good moments in there, but
I knew that you wouldn't exactly be on board for that. But what about Before the Fall?
I have Before the Fall, like some of the chapters. I might give it a read and just for interest, but we'll see like how I feel. We can do like a smaller episode of something to talk about it and talk if there's anything. I don't know if there's anything interesting to talk about it. I know a lot of fans don't talk about.
Well, Before the Fall is like 15-20 books.
Right.
Is it?
Oh, this is a lot. I know that much.
Because
Lost Girls I think is
2 books. It's 2 books.
Is 2 books, and No Regrets is 2 books. And also Lost Girls has novels, which I have, so I'm going to read those. And Before the Fall has novels, which I'm going to read.
Before the Fall.
But I don't expect you guys to read those.
Is that written by the same author?
I think he supervised it.
Before the Fall, yeah, it's supervised, but the No Regrets and Lost Girls, those are by Isayama. Those are like basically canon.
He didn't draw those though, did he?
I'm not sure actually. Yeah. Huh. I know that the animation studio, who did the seasons 1 through 3, like it's the same studio. It's in the OVA version, so I've seen it, but I'm not. Yeah, I actually have no idea how it differs from the book compared to the anime.
All right, I was just wondering if we're still do that because I feel like we should do all that we can on this franchise.
Yeah.
I also have the Science of book, but I realize now it's like, why did they release that like when the series is only halfway done? I'll have to buy like a part 2 and
there's
look like an idiot.
What's the other like spin-off? There's some like really obscure like spin-off.
I can get you the answer. Give me a second.
It's like it's like some sort series. I have like no interest on it. It's like some like not before. I'm looking up at novels. Harsh Mistress of the City. That's it.
I thought that was still part of Lost Girls.
Nope, that's the series of 2 light novels, and it has totally different writers and different illustrators. So it's a 2-parter. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
I haven't read it. It's not animated, so I consider it not canon. Didn't care. Fuck it.
Not anime canon. Yeah. I think I actually have that novel. I'll have to go look. There's also a No Regrets prologue chapter I have to go find. And I still haven't read the one-shot from 2006.
Oh yeah, the original one-shot. Yeah, I read it like after watching the first 3 seasons. It is really different, but I already see like, oh, here's where one-shot you already like wanted to do these ideas already in this way, and it's like really. It's really, and that way it won him some like award when he was like 16 or something. I was like, holy shit, you're that young to make like that kind of a story. And it's like, damn.
Well, if you read Bakuman, you would know all about it.
Yeah. Read Bakuman.
There's also a spoof on Titan, so I gotta get that.
Oh no.
I guess. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 series. I made this post on Facebook a long time ago when the spin-offs were coming out. I was like, how much money do you think you guys think I have? I have to keep buying all these fucking books.
Yeah, they're gonna milk the money out of you.
They're gonna kill
all
me.
right, to end this thing correctly, I'm gonna post the memes in the chat. Have your live reactions recorded.
Okay, I'm ready.
And oh yeah, here is the first one. Okay.
This is good.
This is the anime version, but I'm gonna post it.
I'm gonna laugh already.
This is me.
Oh, wow.
And there's the second one. And this is the Finnish edit that I really like this.
Oh
Oh, no.
Wait, you have to describe what they are.
I'll just post them.
Oh, you don't see them. All right. Well, yeah. The joke kind of went there. Okay, shut it off. Shut it off.